I've got a leadership situation I need help with. I was promoted to a troop commander position over a fellow team leader who now reports to me. He has many years of experience and a lot of knowledge. He's very bitter at not getting the promotion and is letting me know when I include him in decision making for the troop or try to tap into his knowledge and experience. He shuts down, refuses to give input, and says that I should already have the answers since I'm the troop commander. I know the troop would benefit from his input and team dynamics would be much improved if it wasn't so negative. I've tried to let him know that I value his experience. I feel that his input would be beneficial and that his negative attitude and bearing are not acceptable. It is making him a very ineffective team leader. I'm failing at getting through to him, and I don't want to fire him for his position. How can I get him to value his own position in the troop and become effective again?
Okay, I actually think you're doing the right thing, and you've opened the door for him, so I think that's a good first initial approach, but obviously doesn't seem to be working. Now, a couple different courses of actions you could take. One of the things you could do is actually give him some higher responsibility, right? Put his team in charge, put him in charge, the whole team sometimes. Maybe he will step up and start to lead and see that he's now able to prove and that you have a lot of trust in him and all that stuff. There's also a chance, think about this, there's also a chance that you might be coming off as condescending to him. Oh, yeah. So imagine this. Hey, Echo, I value your experience. Oh, no, right? Yeah. And, you know, the troop would really benefit from your input. It's like you're treating him like he's a kid and he's getting, those can come off as condescending. So we have to put those a little bit in check as well. And I think those are a little bit, you put the person in charge, you try that. You've opened up to try and get their input and get them involved, but it might be coming across as condescending. Even if you're just saying, hey man, could really use your input on this thing, it'd be great. Even if you're doing it in like a cool way, in your mind you might be hearing, oh, I could really use your help. So even if you're saying it in a perfect way, it still might be hitting his ears in a different way. Yeah. So I don't know. At this point, I think what I would do is I would maybe just back off. I would just go forward, treating him like one of the leaders and expect him to perform as you expect your leaders to perform. I think you've made the effort. It didn't really work. And now you have a job to do and you got to get on with it. There's also, the world doesn't revolve around his pouting and his being negative. And you can't let that happen. Now, on top of that, this guy's a pouter and he's a negative guy. That's probably the reason he didn't get selected to be promoted. We talked about earlier, the boss saw that. He saw something along the way where things didn't go his way and he pouted and was negative, and that's why he didn't get promoted. Meanwhile, the guy that did get promoted, when things didn't go his way, he's like, okay, cool, we'll drive on with what the new plan is. And that's why you got promoted. So I would say move on, do your job, treat him like you would treat one of your leaders. Be very careful that you don't overcorrect, because you hear me say like, okay, I'm going to treat him normal, and now all of a sudden you're treating him like crap. Don't do that, but treat him as firmly and as fairly as you would any one of your subordinate leaders, and we have to see where it goes from there. He may end up just not being able to deal with this fact. I mean, there's a reason why some people get promoted and some people don't. And maybe he's one of these people that can't humble himself, which is one of our biggest fears in somebody that's trying to be a leader, is that they can't humble themselves. Yeah. And if that's what's going on, he's going to have a long, hard road. And you know whose fault it's going to be? Never his. Never going to be his fault. It's going to be everyone else's fault. And that'll be problematic.
Dang. Yeah, it's a tough one right there. Yeah, because in his mind, straight up, that like, you're condescending. You don't deserve it. I deserve it. And now you're kind of throwing it in my face.
Yeah, he's already lacking humility.
How's this? One time in football, it was junior varsity football, and we're suiting up to play a game, right? And my brother Jade, he's really good. So he, you know how you have that one guy, especially in junior varsity, you have the one guy who makes the majority of the touchdowns and all that stuff. Jade was that guy. So we're suiting up, and one of our team guys on the team, he was that guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't, the thing is, but he wasn't very valuable. He wasn't very athletic. And they kind of played the same position. Jade was running back. He was a running back too. I think this guy was a fullback though. I don't know. I forget. Anyway, so he goes to Jade. Oh, time to show off again. Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So you imagine the mindset. It's the same. That guy probably has the same kind of mindset.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's like, man, it's like you can't, even if you are doing the right things, how you said, like saying everything all cool, in his ears it sounds different.
In his ears it sounds different.
Just showing off again.
Yep. So sometimes when someone isn't going to hear your words correctly, sometimes it's best not to say a damn thing.
Oh, yeah. Dang,
sometimes just keep the mouth shut. And you ever been in an argument with someone, but you're completely trying to de-escalate it, and every single thing you said is getting taken the wrong way? Be quiet, listen, nod your head, and agree. You know, like you're not gonna convince someone. You're not gonna get through to them. They're too emotional. This guy's too negative, and everything you say is gonna be heard differently and not in a positive way.
Kind of what you call it, opportunity cost of addressing it is just it's too much.
Yeah.
Next question.